I'm obsessed with like going after these transphobes on the internet. And trans women and girls are women and girls. They get to participate in women's sports and girls' sports. That's the bottom line. Okay? So that's where this show
That's the
stands.
bottom line because Emma said so.
Well, it's just that's the reality of this. I am sick of having these pedantic conversations about the inclusion of trans girls and women who are like in some states there's dozens of them who want to participate in sports or participating in competition at that level. That we're making our public policy all about that. That this is a wedge issue for people. Trans rights are human rights, and focusing on the sports element and pretending that we care about the purity of athletic competition in this way is just designed to get people riled up. Because if you can say that trans women are not women or girls enough to participate in sports, what else can they not do? They may not be able to go into the bathroom of their choice. They may not be able to have the same civil rights. Maybe they can't change their gender on a form. Maybe they can't participate in the workforce in a way that comports to their gender identity. Like, once you concede that they're not actually women and girls, because they can't, well, this is what transphobes say, because we need to tweak and make sure that they're not allowed to participate in parts of society, then you are opening the door for further discrimination. I have no more patience for this conversation. And part of it's on me, I guess, because I engage in it. It's just a completely disingenuous topic. No, none of these people cared about women's sports until this very moment. And now it's the number one freaking issue in the country.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I gotta tell you guys, there's just some people out here who do not want to accept reality. They don't want to accept reality for what it is. They don't want to accept biology. And if you're one of these individuals who don't want to accept biology, then that means that you're likely a leftist, right? You're a full-blown leftist because leftists refuse to accept reality. They want to live in cuckoo for Cocoa Puff world and advocate for policies that are not good for them, that hurt themselves, that are destructive. Okay, what you just heard there was Emma Vigeland, okay, from the Majority Report, doubling and tripling down on her position that she will eventually realize is wrong, which is that, hey, trans women are women and they should be allowed to participate in women's sports and completely replace women. Again, she will be singing a different tune once a biological man who thinks that they're a woman replaces her. She's already moved the goalposts from, well, there are no biological advantages that trans women have against biological women in sports. She moved the goalposts from there because she got massive backlash for it to now say, well, I don't care, right? I don't care if there's inequality in sports for women. Trans rights supersede everybody else's rights, okay? You have to discriminate against women because trans women shouldn't be discriminated against, which, again, is hilarious because nobody's discriminating against trans women by telling them that they have to compete based off their biological sex. But, again, these are the arguments that are being made here, okay? All the while, you have women, biological women, losing competition after competition after competition to a biological male. And we're not talking about friendly competitions where nothing's at stake except pride. No, I mean, women are losing out on money, right? They're losing out on money and opportunities because men have decided that they want to participate in their sports. Like, for example, this story right here about trans cyclist Austin Killips, who won a North Carolina race by 5 minutes. By 5 minutes. Okay, I mean, if anybody has done any type of track type sport, right, any type of long distance running or anything like that, you know that beating somebody by 5 minutes is insane, right? 5 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna talk about this, but before we get into it, I just want to let you guys know, if you like my channel, you want to support my channel, you can check out my new merch, including my signature racist mug. I have a all black version of the mug available at my website with the 2023 definition of racist on it, according to the left, which is anybody who disagrees with Democrats. So you can check that out at my website, gforemanbcp.com. Get 20% off using discount code TEAMBCP. So without further ado, let's get into it. Controversial transgender cyclist Austin Killips has won a North Carolina race by a whopping 5 minutes, prompting the second place finisher to declare that her power was not comparable and suggest a separate category for trans athletes. Austin Killips, 27, who recently became the first openly trans woman to win an official Union Cyclists International stage event, won $5,000 after easily coming in first in the 131-mile Belgium waffle ride in Hendersonville on Saturday. Cycling News reported. Yeah, so again, this person won by 5 minutes. It wasn't even close. And they won $5,000. This is an easy 5K, right? Easy 5K. Probably the easiest 5K they ever won in their life. You don't think an actual biological woman, female, deserved that? Apparently not. According to Emma Vigeland, she didn't deserve that. A man deserved it instead. So let's actually play a few clips here of this person, the trans cyclist, discussing this victory. And then also we're going to play a clip of the biological woman talk about how she was overpowered during this race. Take a look.
About how the day played out and like what you're going to remember the most about this victory.
I mean, it was just a grueling effort. I'm just really proud to like lay it out there and get the result. But yeah, I kind of after BC, I kind of get how things work now, where like you really want to be up front going into those technical single track sections, and kind of asserted myself there. Was able to get a gap early, then got a flat. And then we were kind of all riding together for quite a while, and I just, I have a cross background, and I was just like, I'm going to attack these single track sections as hard as I can and try to establish a gap again, and did that. God, I don't even know what mile, but one of the mid-race single track sections I just kind of hammered and was able to stay clear, and
well, here we go. This should
together.
Be a silver medal winner.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Great ride today, Paige. And tell us a little bit about what it was like out there, how you were feeling, how the day played out, and what you're going to remember most.
Yeah, I mean, it was a beautiful course, first of all. Even through the suffering, I tried to enjoy it out there. A lot of climbing, I think close to a little under 14K of climbing. I was feeling really good. I was pushing the pace on the climbs a lot. Most of the day was riding. The top three women were together, me, Flavia, and Austin. But yeah, I just kind of couldn't match, Austin and some of the single track and, the power. It's just not comparable. So kind of got gapped maybe 50 miles, and then from there was kind of alone a lot of the time. Had a couple guys to ride with, and yeah, just kind of settled in and kept motoring, and yeah, I got second.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Imagine putting in all this work to train for what is a grueling course, okay? This is not for the faint of heart, okay? This is hard. This is tough. You put on all that work training, and you come in second place, in which you would have came in first if not for a biological man who entered the race and beat you by 5 minutes. And again, I mean, it wasn't even close. Not even close. And you lose out on $5,000, right? You lose out on $5,000. And this is not the first time this particular athlete, Austin Killips, has done this, okay? He has taken away prize money from women who otherwise should have received that cash. For example, just a few months ago in April, the cyclist won first place during the New Mexico tour of the Gila race, winning the cash prize of $35,000 in the women's category. So yeah, this person won $35,000 just a few months ago before winning another $5,000 competing against women, dominating women. But oh, no, you're a transphobe if you speak out against this. If you say, I don't think this is fair. I don't think that biological men should be taking away cash money from women, okay? Because they feel like they're a woman, and then they compete, and then they dominate women because they're biological males. Again, this is crazy. This is absolutely insane. If I was a woman, I'd be pissed. I'd be very pissed about this. Because you train really hard for these events. I mean, these are not easy events. You're trying to win that money. This person's made $40K. This person's made somebody's salary, right? Just defeating women in sports. Do you guys see the incentive that's being created here? If I'm a man, I don't have to get my junk cut off, right? Or my testicles removed. I don't have to do any of that. All I got to do is say, hey, I'm a woman. Let me hop in this race. Let me dominate these women. I don't even got to train as hard because, again, as a male, I just have more advantages than them. I don't have to train as hard. I don't have to do any of that stuff. Let me get in the race. I'm going to easily win. I'm going to easily beat them, and I'm going to take away their money. Again, if this is not promoting the patriarchy, I don't know what is, right? I don't know what is. This is the ultimate form of the patriarchy right here. So yeah, you had some people speak out about this. Tennis great Martina Navratilova, who recently criticized Killips for winning a race in New Mexico, reacted to the latest victory by tweeting, "What a joke." Yeah, so we know what they said in the post race interview. Paige Ornweller, okay, who was the biological woman who talked about how she was overpowered, actually addressed the controversy here, okay? And I want to read about her addressing this. Quote, a transgender athlete won the women's overall, which has caused some controversy. For those following women's road cycling, you are aware of the UCI rule that this is currently allowed, Ornweller wrote. Quote, rather than sharing my personal opinions about the UCI rule, I think it's most important to recognize that all athletes, no matter how they identify, should have a space to compete and race. Additionally, underneath all helmets is a face and a person who deserves respect, dignity, and a safe space to ride bike, she continued. In the future, I feel a separate category may be appropriate, but event promoters are also learning what is best to preserve both female cycling while also creating an inclusive space for all to ride, Ornweller added. Look, here's the thing. That's all fine and good, right? I agree with you. They do need a separate category. But all this fluff language that these people be using, everybody needs to be included. We need a safe space for everybody. All that fluff, it's just you trying not to get backlash from intolerant leftists who are going to say that you're transphobic because you're mad about losing $5,000 to a biological man. We know you pissed. We know you salty about it because I will be salty about it. Everybody will be salty about it. It's okay for you to come out here and actually share your real opinion, which is that this is unfair, this is crazy, this is ridiculous, and this shouldn't happen. Let them compete amongst themselves. But see, here's the thing. If they competed amongst themselves, right, if transgender athletes competed amongst themselves, there wouldn't be a $5,000 jackpot for them to win, right? Because nobody would support it. Even the leftists that claim they love trans people so much, they wouldn't support that. They wouldn't donate money to that. So again, it's just so funny how this works. Again, I only can feel bad for women, okay, who are soft on these issues while, again, they're currently losing out on opportunities and money and sponsorships or whatever to biological males. I can't feel worse than you feel, right? Because I'm not affected. I'm not afraid of no trans man replacing me. Okay, because we already know trans men can't really handle being men, right? We've done videos about this. So I ain't worried about it. But, you know, it seems that men that want to be women tend to be better women than women at, you know, certain activities. So I'm just saying, I can only be so upset. I can't be more upset than the people that actually been affected are upset, and she needs to be more upset about this, okay? The athlete also noted that, quote, these things take both time and grace to resolve, and said she plans to, quote, continue to support and attend BWR events in the future, as I trust they will navigate this with respect for all riders going forward. No, they're not, right? No, they're not, because you're being soft. You're being soft. You're continuing to participate. You're continuing to support it. They don't give a damn about your feelings being hurt because the feelings of the trans cyclist supersedes yours, right? Killips, who has been sanctioned to compete under the governing body rules last month, drew condemnation after winning the Tour of the Gila stage race in New Mexico. Quote, transgender cyclist Austin Killips wins women's race, causes outrage. This will happen more and more. Women's sports is not the place for trans-identified male athletes. Navratilova, 66, said in a tweet. The UCI defended Killips but changed its tune the day after Navratilova's tweet, saying it would review its rules for trans athletes and analyze the current situation with a new decision expected in August. Yeah, I mean, they know this is not fair. And they respond when women actually speak out with some passion and some demands, right? Not this passive, oh, everybody should be inclusive. Nah, this is a joke, right? This is crazy. This is ridiculous. This is unfair. When you call it what it is, then they'll respond. But if you're being passive about it, then they're just going to say, well, if they don't really care that much, who cares, right? Let them get dominated. So anyways, that's that story. Again, just more proof and evidence that men and women are not the same. Trans women competing against biological women is not fair. And this is something that, again, we have to stand up to, but we can only stand up as much as the women that are being affected the most by this are standing up. Okay? So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.